Hello, and welcome to my second video ever. Today is a very special day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be reacting to MLB Network's top 50 players. Let's get right into it. 50 Will Smith. I already have a problem with this. Will Smith is a very good player, don't get me wrong, but number 50 in the MLB, Giancarlo Stanton is a better player than Will Smith, and he was ranked 97th. 97th. Come on, I understand that catcher is a very valuable position, but Will Smith is just not this good. 49, Yasmani Grandal. Don't have particularly a problem with this. He's a very good player, very good catcher. I think he's a lot better than Will Smith is right now at the moment. I'm not saying that Will Smith is not going to be good in the future, but yeah, Yasmani Grandal, great power hitter, great catcher. 48, Ketel Marte. He had a great 2019 season. I'm not sure how his 2020 went, but I'd rather it go off of 2019 because it was a longer season. 47, Josh Donaldson. I like Josh Donaldson at 47. Incredible power hitter, decent at third. Former MVP in 2016. I think he's the 47th ranked player in the MLB. 46, I'm going to go 46, Justin Turner. I could see this. I'd probably have Donaldson edge out Turner by a little bit. I think Donaldson's just a little bit of a better player than Turner is. But I could see this. 45, Muncy. I agree with this. I honestly think Muncy is an incredible hitter. He has a great eye. He hits bombs for the Dodgers. He's super clutch. His bat drops after he hits home runs. I love him. Pretty fun to watch. 44, Matt Olson. I'd take Muncy over Olson. I think Olson's a better fielder, but Muncy is by far a better hitter, in my opinion. I just don't think Olson is as good as Muncy, but okay. Anthony Rizzo, 43. Yep. Makes sense. Great player. Great hitter. Great fielder. Great at everything. 42, Nelson Cruz. Now this, I don't particularly agree with. Nelson Cruz is just getting so much older now. I do understand that he's been great for the past few seasons, but I feel like he's really going to start regressing this year. And I guess since you're going off of right this second, I can see that. But having a DH at 42 who only hits and is getting really old now, I don't love it. 41, Luke Voit. I'd probably have Luke Voit a little higher on this list because he had an incredible 2020. 2019 was decent, but his 2020 really showed that he could break out. And I feel like Voit, he's an incredible power hitter for the Yankees. He's been really good for them, really important to their team in general. Kind of carried them throughout the season, him and LeMahieu. So I'd like to see him a little bit higher, but not bad. Let's get down to 40. Walker Buehler. I'd like to see I think that's a good spot for Walker Buehler, to be honest with you. He's a great pitcher. Didn't have an incredible season last year, but it was a 60-game shortened season with it. The offseason was all weird, so I like him at 40. 39, Hyun-Jin Ryu. Honestly, I feel like Buehler's a better pitcher, especially going forward into this next season. He's getting more into his prime, while Ryu is getting less into his prime, so I think Buehler's a better pitcher than him. 38, Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, I see this. Clayton Kershaw had an incredible season last year, and even in 2019, his bad season, he had barely a 3 ERA, and that's considered bad for him somehow. That he's still amazing, still a great pitcher. 37, Marcell Ozuna. I'd probably have Ozuna after Walker Buehler, but not a bad spot for him. He hits the ball a mile. That's pretty much all he does. He's a terrible defender when he plays in the outfield, but and he's going to have to because there's no DH this year for the National League. 36, Brantley. Yeah, I like Brantley. Very good contact hitter, very underrated player. Signed with the Astros, not the Blue Jays. Yeah, 35, Jeff McNeil. I would caution them on this because Jeff McNeil had one good year and then didn't play much in 2020. Not the best fielder, even though he plays everywhere. I do think Jeff McNeil will be this good, but I feel like I feel like I haven't seen enough of him to be completely sure that he will be this good. So, moving on. Conforto, 34. Yeah, Conforto's a very good player, very good hitter. Gets on base, hits for decent average, hits for power, decent right fielder. I like this. All right, 33, JT Realmuto. I like this as well. Best catcher in the MLB by far. No, not even close. I mean, at one point, could have been Gary Sanchez, but we all saw what he did last year. He was garbage. JT Realmuto, great catcher behind the plate. Great hitter for this Phillies team. Very important piece, especially at a valuable position like catcher. 32, Goldschmidt. Yep. We saw what he did last year. He was incredible. He really just showed out last year. I mean, not much to say there. 31, Jose Abreu. Yep, I can see this. To be honest with you, if you look at his stats, he already has almost 200 home runs in 7 years. That's almost a Hall of Fame player. Like, if he keeps going on this pace, he could get 500 homers, and that's a Hall of Fame career. He has over 300 batting average in his career. He won MVP last year, which is pretty incredible. I don't know if he's going to be as good as he was last year, comparatively, but I do think he's going to be a good player, and I see why he's number 31 on this list. 30, Yu Darvish. This I don't agree with. Sure, he had an incredible season last year, but Yu Darvish has been really up and down in his career. He started off really well, then had a few bad seasons. This season was incredible, and especially in a 60-game season, you can't really take it fully. You got to take it with a grain of salt a little bit. So I do see Yu Darvish in the top 50, but I do not see him at 30. I think he's a worse pitcher than Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw. 29, Bauer. Again, I think Bauer is a top 40 player probably, but 29 is just a little too high for him. He had an incredible Cy Young season. He was completely dominant for the Reds. Dodgers signed him, Pitchers Park, so that could be good for him. But he has a career pretty much 4 ERA, 3.9. Like, I don't know about that one. 28, Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer is incredible. East pitcher. You want him in the playoffs for you. 27, Tim Anderson for the White Sox. I honestly think that Tim Anderson might be one of the most underrated players in baseball right now. He consistently has been hitting over 330 for the past few years. He's got the swag. He's got the bat flips. This dude is incredible. I love him at number 27. I feel like that's exactly where he's at. 26, Trey Turner. Again, one of the most underrated players in the MLB. Insanely fast. Great hit tool. The dude hits for average. He's a great fielder. There's really nothing he can't do except for have power, but you don't really need power when you're a shortstop. It's an added bonus, but you don't really need it. So, yeah, I love Trey Turner at 26. Xander Bogaerts, 25. Okay, Xander Bogaerts, maybe an average fielder, but incredible hitter for the Red Sox. Dude can do everything when it comes to hitting. Hits for power, hits for contact. So yeah, I can see him at 25. I'd maybe have Trey Turner a little bit above him. Probably I'd flip those two guys, but I can see that. 24, Corey Seager. Corey Seager is a great player. People have been sleeping on him because he got injured with the Tommy John surgery, and he hasn't been playing lately. But he did play in 2020, and he was just lit it up. He was absolutely incredible. He looked like rookie Corey Seager, who won Rookie of the Year and was incredible that season. I think Corey Seager will live up to this 24th ranking. A lot of people don't think that, but I do. 23, Matt Chapman. He deserves this. He's been hitting incredibly the last couple of seasons, and he's the best fielding third baseman in the MLB, in my opinion. A lot of people say Arenado. I say Matt Chapman. He's just a great player when it comes to defense and hitting. So, 22, Bryce Harper. I don't think Bryce Harper is 22. I think he's top 30, but I do not think he's 22. I say this because he's so inconsistent at times. Sometimes he freaking lights it up, hits 20 freaking home runs in a month, hits 500, plays decent defense, not a great defender, has a good arm though. But a lot of times he strikes out 5 times a game. He looks terrible. He looks like he doesn't know how to hit. So I don't know. I don't know if Bryce Harper's number 22. I feel like he's an MVP type player at times, but he's also a bench warmer type player at times. I don't know if I can have him at 22. Aaron Judge 21. Okay, I have a problem with this. Aaron Judge, when he's on the field, is a top 3 player in baseball. Look at his stats. His OPS is incredible. He hits bombs. Look at his 2017 season. Should have been MVP. Jose Altuve cheated. I'm giving him the MVP. 52 bombs that year. Incredible OPS. 1,000 plus. When he's incredible fielder too. He's a great fielder. He robs home runs. He has a freaking gun of an arm. He throws people out at third all the time. He's just one of the greatest players in the MLB right now. Problem is, he does get injured a lot of the time, but he's always back for the playoffs, which is really the most important part of the season. What I'm saying is that when he's on the field, he's top 3 player in baseball. He does get injured a lot, so he's not on the field all the time. But if you average those two things out, in my opinion, he's top 15. 21's a little bit too low for him. Or too high. I don't know how to say that. 20, George Springer. Yeah, no. You can't have Judge behind George Springer. You can't have Judge behind Jose Ramirez. Come on, dude. Jose Ramirez is a great player, but he had an awful season last year. He looked terrible at the plate. I do think he's going to bounce back. I don't know if he's a top 19 player. Probably top 25 in my opinion. But you can't have Judge behind those two guys. Manny Machado, 18. I don't think you can have Judge behind him either. Manny Machado, phenomenal hitter, phenomenal defender. You can play short and he plays third, so that's important. That's pretty impressive. Hits bombs, hits absolute tanks. Was awesome last year. The dynamic duo of him and Tatis is going to be incredible for years to come. 17, Bregman. I don't know. He hasn't had a good season without cheating yet, so I don't know if you can rank him there. I think he's probably around the 25 range, in my opinion. I think people overrate him. He's a phenomenal fielder, and he did gain 30 pounds of muscle, supposedly, so that could be either great or terrible. It might make him slow as molasses, but I'd like to see another great season out of him this year to really rank him in the top 15. I just feel like he hasn't had a great hitting season when he hasn't cheated, so I'd like to see more out of him. 17's a little high for me. 16, Trevor Story. Love Trevor Story. A lot of people are like, oh, he's a product of Coors Field. Wrong. He's not. He's a phenomenal hitter. Year after year, he's been great. He's a great fielder as well. Almost a Gold Glover. Probably will win Gold Glove in the future. 15, Francisco Lindor. Lindor, he's just incredible. Switch hitter, phenomenal fielder, brings all the swag you need on a team. He's on the Mets now, which I hate. I'm a Yankees fan, so I understand that. 14, LeMahieu. LeMahieu is a top 10 player, in my opinion. LeMahieu, this dude, I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm probably partial, but this dude is crazy. He's a good defender, solid defender. but his hitting is just incredible. He had 1,000 OPS last year, and he's not even a power hitter. He gets on base. He hits for contact. He's so clutch in the playoffs. He gets clutch hits so many times, even in the regular season too. This dude is just rock steady. You can always trust him. You know the phrase, go big or go home. He always goes big. He never goes home. So, DJ Mayu, I think he's a top 10 player. 13, Nolan Arenado. See, I like Arenado, and I think he's an incredible player, but 13 I think is too high for him, especially since he's leaving Coors. His road splits are, like, bad. Like, it's incredible at home, but his road splits, if you've seen him, are just bad. His OPS drops off a ton. His batting average drops off a ton. His power drops off a ton. So I'd like to see, him play one good season at in Busch Stadium before I really make a decision on if he's a top 13 player. I don't think he is right now because of that, because of the stadium, which is hard to believe to say that. 12, Shane Bieber. Yeah, I think he becomes a top 10 player this year. He looked so good last year until the playoffs, but he looked incredible last year, almost unhittable. He needs one more great season like that this year, and he's a top 10 player for sure. Garrett Cole, number 11. I think that's about right for Garrett Cole. He is just probably the second best pitcher in baseball right now to Jacob deGrom, who's the best. But Garrett Cole's just dominant. He goes out there, you can trust him. He freaking chucks gas, has an incredible slider. This dude is just a monster out there. He's got Mamba mentality. So I like him there at 11. 10, Cody Bellinger. Okay, I see this. Yep, I can see this. Incredible outfielder. He can play all around the field. Hits for power, hits for average at times. He's a lefty. He has got, in my opinion, the most beautiful swing. Maybe him or Yohan Moncada as the most beautiful swing in baseball right now. So, yeah. He had a down year last year, but he's going to bounce back for sure. 9, Christian Yelich. Yelich had a down year last year. Really bad, really terrible year last year. But I think he's really going to bounce back this year as well. I do think Bellinger is a better player than Yelich. But Yelich is an awesome player as well. I love his swing. I just love, what he does on the field. Hits for power, hits for average. He isn't so showy like some players these days, but that's okay. Number 8, Anthony Rendon. I don't know. I feel like Rendon is a very good player, but I'd probably have Bellinger and Yelich above him, even though they didn't have great seasons last year. But I do have Rendon in my top 10. He's so good. He's just so good. 7, Acuna. Okay. Acuna, I think Acuna should be probably higher. I think he's a top 5 player. This dude just hits. There's not much to say about him. This dude is incredible. He's super fast, super athletic. He hits bombs. He hits for average. He does everything. This dude could get a 40-40 season next year, and that's almost unheard of these days. No one gets over 40 stolen bases these days. Crazy. Crazy dude. Dude is just so swaggy, too. Dude brings all the swag to the team. He hits bombs. He's just so good. He could win NL MVP this year. 6, Tatis. I think Tatis is a bit overrated right now since he inked that $340 million deal. But I don't know. I rank him in my top 15. He's not my top 10. He's played, I think, 143 games. He hasn't played a full season of baseball yet. And even though he's been awesome in all those 143 games, it's just, I would like to see more from him. I would like to see more games from him. Once he plays this season and he lives up to the hype, then he's a top 6 player. But right now, he hasn't played a full season. I don't know if I can rank him this high. 5, Juan Soto. Yep. Juan Soto is incredible. Hits for power, hits for average, great swing. He puts fear in the pitcher's eyes when he does the Soto shuffle. Super clutch. He won the World Series as a 21-year-old. Still lives with his mom at that time. Love this dude. Such a cool dude as well. For Freddie Freeman. I think Freddie Freeman is behind Juan Soto, and I think he's also behind Acuna. But he did win MVP. Incredible fielder at first. Incredible hitter. Could be a Hall of Famer if he keeps doing what he's doing. I love this dude, Freddie Freeman. He's a great guy, too. He's a great dad. So, I mean, I think he's a little high up, but I do think he's definitely a top 8, top 7 player. 3, DeGrom. I think he deserves this, as he's so good. He's just so good. Year after year, he comes in, strikes out a ton. His ERA is always super low. Doesn't get a lot of wins because the Mets suck, always. Except for this year. The Mets are going to be good this year, so he'll get a lot of wins. Probably going to win Cy Young again. He's so good. He won 2 Cy Youngs in a row before last year, and probably could have won it last year. But, shortened season, so Trevor Bauer won it. But he's still the best pitcher on the planet right now. He deserves to be at number 3. Number 2, Mookie Betts. Okay. I agree with this. He's so good. He won an MVP. He's just so good everywhere. Anything he does is good. He's fast. He hits for power. He hits for average. He has a gun of an arm. He's a great fielder. He robs home runs. He's just so good at everything he does. This dude literally can dunk, and he's such a good basketball player too. I saw him run routes at wide receiver. He's a great wide receiver too. This dude literally is the best all-around person ever. This dude can do anything. I bet you if this dude started playing tennis, he'd be a top 100 tennis player. Number 1, Mike Trout. Okay. Not much to say here. He had his worst season last year, and yet he still had a 993 OPS. That is just unreal. He's still at 281, still hit for a ton of power. He said he had a bad year last year, and he was just so good last year. It's crazy how that is considered bad. He is the best player in baseball, average to slightly above average fielder, but his hitting is just so transcendent. He's probably a top 5 hitter of all time right now. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll be considered a top 5 player of all time. Mike Trout, number 1, makes sense. So, I'm going to end it here. What do you think about my opinions? Rank your top 5 in the comments if anyone's watching this, which probably not. But also subscribe. If you're watching this, subscribe, please. Thanks. Alright. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.